Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to episode 61.
Six.
Swear to
You
fucking
knew
God,
that.
you're
You
doing
did
this
that.
on
That one was on
purpose.
purpose.
I genuinely, last time, I'm pretty sure it was either 50 or 60, but I think I remember like a 53, so it had to be 60. Because last time was a whole number, right? Or like
No.
some
No.
indivisible. Was it not?
It was 59 last week. Now it's 60.
Okay.
Welcome to episode 60.
God
we have
damn.
a special
Oh,
guest with us
Welcome
today.
back. Welcome back.
Welcome
Special
back,
guest,
Alex.
I'm back.
He's
How's
back.
it going, man? How have you been?
Back for more. That's been pretty good. How about you, Colton?
Yeah. Life goes on.
Colton's been better.
Doing great. What a positive reaction to that. Anyways, should we just get straight
normal.
into this?
Let's
huh?
get straight into it.
All right.
I like how we have this like straight into. Let's go.
Let's
Okay,
go. Let's
dope.
just get into it. Let's get
Who's
real.
up first? Who's top
I'll go
left?
first. I'll go
Yeah.
first. I got a shot from. I'm pretty sure you guys all know what this is. Calvin, do you know what this
Thor
is?
Ragnarok.
This is
Thor
right?
Ragnarok is correct. Yeah.
Fuck, I was trying to do the God of War. Ragnarok.
Was this
Fuck with you.
Sundance? No, not Sundance. What am I saying?
What?
Rising Sun.
Rising Sun. Yeah, that was
Yes.
Yeah.
Rising Sun. I remember
This is why I
seeing
know that
this.
studio.
Yeah,
Such
and
a
being
pretty
like,
show.
what the fuck? This looks so cool.
Yeah,
especially for, like, A Marvel show. It's very like, it's not often they do like a full like stylized like flashback thing or like a cut to a different style
I mean,
thing.
I would say you look at this frame, you say, "What franchise is this from?"
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
you would go Marvel.
Yeah,
It's, you know,
for sure.
you do Marvel 2000 circa 2017. You know, like.
But it was
just-
still unique. It had some style to it, with like the
No,
the
it was still
rotating,
pretty,
like,
yeah,
light
it was
rig
so
around
cool, but it's-
constantly. Especially in motion, this whole scene, like where it was like up close on her face, and like they had like the whole light.
That's
rig
true.
spinning
The other
around
shots
and
kind of
stuff.
do better than this one because I feel like this shot kind of has this weird issue of like orange hard cut to blue. You know, like there's not like proliferation of like these orangey portals in the cloud.
Mm.
It's just like orange and then blue. But I'm sure there's a reason.
It's weird.
for
You
that.
guys immediately think Marvel when you see this shot. I think like this is just a
Doesn't this? But the
Zack
colors
Snyder.
and the glows.
It is
Oh,
high
okay.
contrast.
No,
It's
no,
not
no, no, no,
quite
no. This
crunching
isn't
enough.
Schneider.
slow-mo.
You can no. This isn't Schneider because you need to make this darker by 2 stops before we reach Schneider. You'd have to crush everything so you can't see anything except blacks and highlights.
Yeah.
No. This is, I think I get what you're saying, Colton. I think this is too bright for Schneider. But genuinely, I think like that would be like the thing that just because everything he does is always so dark.
Yeah. It would be like
Pisses
that
me off.
one column or pillar in like the bottom right. It would be like that level
That
of
would be
density
black
like everywhere.
Yeah, that would be darker, and then all the other rocks would be black with like bits of fog.
Looking at this now, I just realized I can't quite tell if I'm seeing it right, but in the top right,
Mhm.
like right above Hela, is that like some sort of building pillar poking up
Yeah,
in
I
the
never
clouds?
noticed that before. It kind of looks like it,
Oh,
but
like the one that's vertical.
Yeah, it's like going straight
I'm
up rather than like angled.
It's not. Oh god, that'd be funny. I don't.
it probably is.
I mean,
it's probably
it's
some
got a curve to it, so like
Norse
It does have, but it
reference.
kind of looks like some sort of cylindrical like castle tower. I don't know. I've never realized it before. I thought it was
Yeah, I never noticed that either.
I'm
Weird.
sure it's just part of the. It'd be weird for them to put something so obscure that I don't remember being a story point.
That's
On
probably
this
some
movie.
obscure comic reference to the tower she was kept in or something or whatever.
Yeah,
Or it
but
could
like,
just be a
why,
rock.
if you're gonna do that,
mean, yeah.
make it like visible. Where here it's like one
Well,
little
it doesn't really
highlight line
matter,
that's
though.
curved.
I
Like
mean,
I don't
it's
think
just
it's
a little
enough
Easter
for
egg.
them. I'm saying I think it's a rock.
Yeah, could be. Could just be a
It does
rock.
kind of look like a rock too. Let's see if I can-
I will
And
say
then the
it's-
classic like VFX movie, they've done this a lot. Like the portal, like the tentacly black goo.
Hmm.
I feel like this is such a staple of. I mean, Doctor Strange had it as well. The Multiverse of Madness, that was like a thing that was all over the place. Morbius had this kind of like tentacly gray stuff that just is like affects puke.
Yeah, I mean, it does look cool, you know.
It looks
especially with,
cool.
like,
I'm
the
not really
glows
complaining. I just
scattered
think it's
through it.
funny because I've
But I mean-
used this type of element from effects from like so many times.
Yeah,
They like definitely took inspiration of that from like real cosmic shit because like
Oh, 100%.
that stuff
Yeah.
looks so like if you ever seen like especially those new like Hubble photographs that have been taken recently of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
all
yeah.
like the the giant nebula and everything. That's like all
Yeah.
looks almost exactly like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it would be like kind of like the what are they called? The hand of God, the fingers of God, or whatever.
Right.
pillars of God or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, those two. Yeah, it's very
Pillars of
reminiscent
creation,
of that.
isn't it?
Pillars of creation. That's what. Yes. That's what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, exactly. It's kind of like cloudy, like misty.
Yeah, it's very spacey. Anyways, we talked about this a lot. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Cool
it's a
shot.
very
Cool
specific
sequence.
effect that I don't feel like exists anywhere other than like what you're talking about, Alex. It's nebulous effect.
Yeah,
And it's
I think
fucking
you're
in everything. It's weird.
Whenever I see videos or not videos, pictures of those, I'm always a little depressed that we'll never actually see that with our own eyes because those pictures are taken in different wavelengths that we can't visually see.
Yeah.
Because
space
They're
is just
they're just
black.
composites
It's
to a certain
just
degree.
yeah.
There's
So
no-
also
there's
probably
nowhere near
like
enough
that are
light.
given a color coordination
Yeah.
rather
But
than
also like
our
the scale
reality
of
of what
those
we
things
can't
they're
are
see.
they're also probably like already gone too.
Or,
'Cause
yeah,
of,
That's
like,
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
just
I mean,
from,
like I think the
all
width of the pillar is like a couple like million light years. You know, and
That's
then when you
so
see a photo of it, it's like 20 pixels wide.
Yeah,
It's
that's
yeah.
it's always so crazy to
yeah.
see.
Don't start thinking about scale and universe stuff. It
Doesn't make sense.
There's I can't remember what it is, but I'm pretty sure there's a study talking about how once you get past the number like 1,000 or like 800 to 1,000, humans just can't comprehend numbers that big anymore. Like you just start to compress it to such a degree. There's just no way to visualize that much.
I don't know
Anyways,
about you guys, but I remember like being a kid thinking about how large space was, and it used to make me like really upset. I used to get
I
very
always
upset
was
about
like,
it.
it can't be more than a million. That's what I wouldn't say a unit. I wouldn't say like a million. It would
Just
just be
1 million.
It's not bigger than a million. Like obviously
Yeah.
not. And then I think at some point I found out what a billion was, and I was like, that's silly. Why would you ever? I remember being like, anything somebody said was big or huge, I'd be like, well, it can't be more. You know, it can't be more than a million.
Can't be more than space.
Yeah.
Can't be more.
Anyways, what a
yeah.
weird
I
tangent.
want to talk about one last thing with the shot. I really do like how well her silhouette plays against the backdrop.
That
Because
smoke right behind
it's just
her.
a perfect silhouette,
Mhm.
perfect pose. So it's like pops right out, and then the smoke and elements in the back just perfectly
There's-
fade
yeah.
into the background.
And how
So-
green she is.
and how green
Mhm.
she is. Yeah, so it's just
You know
Even
what?
with
Straight
the
out.
green too, they've even managed to get a good amount of shadow on her cape as well, like on her cloak.
Because of
Like it's
everything
actually
shaped in,
pretty.
so-
You can tell it's like all wavy.
This is the type of shot you look at, and you know what the DI notes are. Like, as in they wanted a matte to like make her 4 times brighter than she should be,
Oh, yeah.
and like they also for both of the whatever they're called portals. Like I feel like they got cranked.
Probably.
I don't know. I don't know, but I feel like this could be such a shot that it's like we want mattes for everything, just so they can crank it around.
we'll have some more shots to talk about that later on.
But before
Is it
that,
But for
is it
now,
just-
Oh no!
what did you bring
Anyways,
us,
it's a pretty
Alex?
shot.
Oh yeah, me. Mine aren't necessarily.
That's fine.
I want to say like VFX.
No,
yeah,
that's cool.
We
That's
talk
cool.
about
But-
everything and anything.
Yeah, no. I don't know exactly how you're going about displaying them, Cade. On
Mhm.
like, but if you're starting with the top left one, it's a very common theme throughout the whole show. Is this whole light and dark thing going on here, and the character on the right too.
Oh, yeah.
He actually spends a lot of time in about a bunch of the dark shots too, and then he ends up going through something that he then somehow just transitions out of them to being into the light shots. But then Carmi on the left, the main character here, he's like stuck in all the dark shots throughout the whole show, and you can visibly see him just like progress. And every time he's not in like the dark shots, he's like, if you move on to not the next shot but the one below with the food, this whole his whole vibe throughout this whole show is basically like he can't.
I'm depressed.
I'm depressed, and he can't forgive. He literally can't forgive himself, and he can't accept anything that's good. And so this whole throughout the entire series so far, he's trying to perfect this dish, and
Right.
every single time he does it, they show like it's like once every like 3 episodes or something like that. They show him trying it again, and then he stares at it like this, and he throws it out because it's not good enough. But every single time you look at it, it's like this perfect little piece of beauty, which symbolizes like a good amount of love that he actually had in like a prior episode that he kind of fucked up a bit. And so he's not able to finish this dish at all until he fully accepts who he is and actually can move on and forgive himself and apologize. He can't say sorry. That's not like one of his, he can say it, but he never means it. And it's a repetitive notion between him and like all the characters in the entire show. He'll apologize, but he never means it. And this dish right here, he's gonna, I already know, like when he finishes this dish, it'll be the time where he's actually able to progress in his life. Yeah. But throughout the entire show so far, it's just been this dish, and he's been throwing it out every time. And then he gets all depressed afterwards. As you can see, he's walking into the freezer again. But
you know what this perfectly reminds me of? Well, it's definitely like the troubled artist or the
100%.
The what's the word I'm thinking of?
Angsty?
Not necessarily angsty, but just so passionate that they can't let go of like the minute, smallest things.
Like a perfectionist.
It reminds me of perfectionist. It reminds me of there's this clip of Gary Oldman for the Dracula movie that he was working on. I don't know if it was in the 90s and whatnot. There's one clip where he fucks up the lines that he was saying to this one actress during rehearsals, and he just like beats the living shit out of his forehead with his hand. He's like, fucking stupid, I didn't get the lines right, fuck. And it just I haven't seen the show of the bear exactly, but I can assume that he beats himself up constantly.
Oh, 100%.
Because he can't get it right, yeah. So it's that I can totally understand what the character's going through, and as you could see it in any artistic self. Even when we're, I don't know, working VFX or our own artistic mediums, we can all relate to this character and be like, fuck, why isn't this good enough? Why can't it be better? Yeah.
I also don't know if like they, I don't think they did, but his eyes are naturally that blue, right, Cade?
I'm pretty sure.
Because
they could have totally pushed it. That's one of those things that they
think they might have, because this whole show is analogous. Like it's all blue, like all the time, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure his eyes are blue, and then just whatever grade they do just kind of enhances it too.
I think they might, because it's definitely
that's a normal thing. Like color correcting people's eyes. That's a thing that happens all the time.
They definitely stand out a lot in the show.
He could be wearing contacts too. I doubt it though. I think his eyes are blues.
But I've also seen him in interviews, and his eyes are pretty blue. So I don't.
Yeah, I don't think they're messing with his eyes individually.
Just might be a happy coincidence, really.
I think
where
so,
like,
yeah.
I mean, they might be
everything
lighting to them as well. You know,
everything's blue and upset, but
yeah, it's a very pretty show. If you guys haven't watched it,
it is very pretty. Like it, especially for just like, oh, there you go, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He's got some marbles.
Yeah, they're pretty gray blue. Yeah. You know what? They might be color correcting his eyes. Just looking at
it looks like a little bit, like a very small amount. It looks like.
Start it though. Meh. Anyways,
who knows? But yeah, no, those are my shots. As I really like how deep they went with this, like because they don't really like explain any of that at all, and so it's. Like,
I've always thought
cool
like shooting a show is such a fucking nightmare, but also to shoot a show that's well done, but then. Because that's so much work and so much planning and organization, and then being like, okay, let's shoot an undertone symbolization of this light dark arc on top of it. I'm always just like, how the fuck? Like that has to be somebody's entire job. I mean, I guess that's the whole point of having a good DP or like a lighting.
That's what makes good TV.
But it's like the director's busy with other shit. He's like maybe he's talked about it with his DP or something at some point, right? But it's not like he could be checking every shot. You know what I mean? Like. I've always wondered how much. No, I don't think so. Not on like a shoot day, right? Like you're not thinking. He's not running through every single shot, being like, "These are the things we need," like live. Like I'm wondering how much prep goes into it, or if he's just like letting the DP be like they've had this conversation, and they're like, "Okay."
Probably both.
I think so. Yeah.
Where they probably plan some things and then just putting trust in your DP.
Yeah, you do also have like a script supervisor and like a shot. Script supervisor like on the day as well. Like they'll show you whatever.
Do you think something like that would be written into the script?
Not necessarily. No,
it's not written to the script. It's done beforehand. Yeah.
Just all the right people doing their jobs, where it's probably the script supervisor working with the DP.
I'm just so used to other stuff where it's just everything's a panic reshoot or some shit. Anyways.
Yeah. It's not all supernatural, Calvin.
That's not what I was comparing it to, but I just think it's like you're doing so much, but then what happens? You get to a shot, like let's say this shot, that's like the kitchen and the outside, and then you're like, oh, it's backwards. Do you reach like? Then you're fucked. You know what I mean?
I doubt that they would fuck it up that badly. I remember, you know what's the famous saying? It's like when you're on set, you're acting straight for 5 minutes and then waiting for 50
like
kind of thing
hours.
for setup.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I guess.
It's gonna be
the
the
grips and
but
everything.
like, okay, you realize the lighting's backward. You're totally fucked. There's nothing you can do. Like, how do you fix that? You know what I mean? Like, I wonder. Maybe they're shooting around it some other way. I don't know. I think
it just comes down to good planning. And I mean, this is
yeah, but like
we
know no one fucking plans anything. So
we don't know
that.
I disagree with that.
I think a lot of people plan a lot of things.
I guess.
Kevin, for Dune Part 2, they did like an entire Unreal Engine simulation of how the sun angle is going to look in the exact location that they're going to be, so they know where all the keys will be and what time and day it'll be. I think a TV show who has a confined set can know where every single light will be. They like it for WandaVision. They have entire UV or not UV. They have entire grid plans of how the entire shots are going to look with the lighting setup.
Yeah. But I feel like nothing's storyboarded or like set up to that point anymore. Like you say that, and then I can name 20 films that I've worked on that didn't have this planning and had 10 times the budget. So but my point is, like, I wonder what the difference is.
This is an actual artistic
planning.
I think it is just the planning. I think some shows,
I guess, like it has to just be the planning, right?
Just
like
don't do it.
It's not like these guys have more money to stop a set than Marvel and rejig.
I mean, this is like in a major award-winning Emmy TV series.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it has to be planning, right? That's what I'm trying.
Yes. Yeah.
It just has to be brutal amounts of planning, which would be fun as fuck. But oh my god, you don't want to get anything wrong. I'm sure they get something wrong sometimes. Like everyone does. There's no amount of planning, and they have to. But I guess that's the whole point of being like, okay, everyone chill out for.
Yeah, he gets his food dishes wrong every time. That's why he keeps doing it.
Anyways.
Yeah, like the amount of coordination that would go into doing all of this too, just making sure it's proper is wild. Yeah. Just coordination in general. I mean, like me and Olivia were just talking about like the Olympics right now and like how there's like, I don't know how many fucking events they have going on at the same time, and like at these giant venues all over Paris, one in Tahiti, and it has to start at the exact same time with the time changes. Like just a stupid amount of coordination has to go into it. It's just like, I would hate to have that person's job trying to coordinate all that. That would be awful.
Yeah. Crazy.
Anyways.
All right. What'd you bring us, Colton?
Watch The Bear.
Watch The Bear.
Bear is very good.
Out on Disney Plus.
Those are on Disney Plus.
It is?
Yeah.
Anyways, I brought, since House of the Dragon is nearing its last episode next week, I decided to bring up this sequence. I'm not sure if we talked about this sequence before.
Might have.
No? Okay. Well, this one was
kind of a House of the Dragon.
We did.
Spoiler alert.
Whatever. Spoiler alert for last season.
I mean, spoiler alert for anyways.
But this will lead into something else.
Yeah.
I just love the sequence. Again, like I recently rewatched it just because it was that like insane in regards to the scale, the lighting, visual effects, everything, planning from how much work had to be done in previs because they completely sell the scale.
I mean,
the lighting on the actors.
I can't tell. Okay, I can't tell if this is just blurry, or what. But it looks like I mean, like the final shot. That's like the big dragons.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a longer lens. That dragon's, I don't know what.
That dragon is much bigger.
400 feet long, 500 feet long, like the big one.
He's huge.
Why the fuck is the wing out of focus? Like when you get like this camera's what 1,000 feet away. You're not gonna get like once you're that far away with a camera, you're not gonna have like this foreground dragon in focus and then the wing that's 200 feet behind him out of focus.
I think
Unless
it's
you're shooting
motion
like
That's
blur.
just motion.
Okay,
blur
is
right
that just
there.
motion blur? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at some of these and I was like, this looks like the focus, like the dragon on the left, like his foot looks like out of focus, right?
Yeah.
And then his head's in focus. So I guess this is just
Throughout this
motion blur
whole
to fuck.
sequence, there's like a stupid amount of motion blur, and then
Yeah.
there's like
I mean,
almost
it's
like little
raining
periods
and
of like
blurry, and
focus.
I'm sure some of
Yeah.
the things I'm seeing is just lensing stuff.
Yeah, compressed images, and then there's probably some lensing stuff, and then just motion blur.
I'm sure it's
Yeah.
lensing stuff.
Yeah, this Colton compared to like what it was the Game of Thrones near the end where there was like a dragon fight. Maybe it was that dark episode that we've always talked and complained about. Where it was like a cool dragon fight or something cool with dragons. I remember just being like
the Battle
you
of the
can see
Long
it.
Night or whatever.
Yeah, when the light
Yeah.
flashes or it breezes, you can see something cool. But this one's like, all right, it's cool, it's stormy, it's dark, but hey, you can actually see what's going on.
Yeah.
But it's still hiding stuff in a good way. Like you can kind of see like
Mhm.
where stuff's like smoggy or coming out of the clouds. But it's
Definitely even for the first shot, like they hide it, but they hide it.
yeah,
very
they still give you
artistically
something to look
directed,
at.
hidden, yeah, where it's silhouetted and timed perfectly for it to
There's,
for it to give it the big reveal.
Yeah.
In this sequence is there's also a shot where it's like down up like the first one, and the lightning flashes and you can see Vagar and Aemon above him, right? Like it's like, and then there's also a silhouette of, so there's a silhouette of like Vagar and Aemon, but then there's also Jacaerys and his dragon like underneath, and you can also see the silhouette of him, and somehow it also looks really good. It like works together.
Nice.
But yeah, this whole like shot was really cool. This whole thing.
Cool. Yeah. More
Big
incentive
dragon
for you to
fights,
watch it,
always.
Calvin. Oh yeah, fucking love dragons.
Yeah, dragons are cool.
Dragons
But you
are
haven't
cool.
watched this, Calvin?
No, I usually wait for stuff to be finished because I hate two things. One, I like to binge shows. Just
He has no
generally, I'm happy
patience.
to.
He has no.
Yeah, I know.
patience.
No, I think I have the opposite of patience because I wait for the whole show. I guess I kind of have. Once I
have-
get into it, I'm like, I want to go.
Yeah.
He has no patience. If you don't want
you
to-
have
No
both
patience.
But I'm
patience
being
and no
patient, like
patience.
waiting for the whole show to be finished.
Okay,
But the other
yeah.
thing is, I don't want to get committed and into a show, and then the last 3 episodes fucking blow, or like say the final 2 seasons suck, because then I'm like, this was a whole waste of my time.
So you still got to experience the first 6 seasons that were good.
I would rather have never done that because the whole build-up of a story is the payoff. Like it's like if you read a book and then the last, like the ending, the last third was just the author going, "I like to eat dog shit." Like you're not like, well, at least I got to read the first half. No, fucking.
I don't know if George R. R. Martin's gonna be saying I like
I'm
to
not-
eat dog shit.
I wasn't talking
Actually, no,
about him for the
he's written some fucking kinky, weird ass shit. There's actually one passage in the Song of Ice and Fire talking about Cersei, how she.
I don't want to know
she's-
this.
Colton has it memorized for some
Yeah,
reason.
Cole doesn't memorize. Word
She's so
for word.
vindictive against Robert
Okay.
that she's like, oh yeah, I'm going to lick your unborn children.
Why are we doing this?
It's just he's written some weird shit. You literally talked about how. Wait, would you say
Alright.
something about shit?
I said eating. I said it an example of a bad story, not
Oh,
kinky
bad
stuff
story.
in a book.
All right.
Yeah.
What else did you
Colton
bring?
just
us,
is like,
Colton?
I know kinky passages. What the fuck? I'm just
I'm
saying.
just saying.
usually
but
when
he's
I'm
not
watching
gonna
a
be-
show, I
my
wait for
point
it
is
to be
that he's
over.
not going to be writing something that's going to be shit. Like House of the Dragon is going to be good because it's a condensed, like
I wait.
completely
no, for
completed
the
story.
record. Yeah, no, that's yeah. Okay, I thought you were talking about Game of Thrones.
Oh, what the
No,
heck?
I mean, I'm just gonna wait for the end because I might as well. Because I still like to binge it. Like I'll watch it over like the period of 2 days.
Oh.
I still like to just do that. Because why not?
It's
You know,
weird.
I'm looking forward to it.
What else
But
did
oh
you
my
watch?
god!
What
Also,
did
the
you
go black?
sequences. Are
Okay,
you
yeah.
watching the sequence? Are you guys watching the sequence?
We were.
Holy key, Batman! These
Okay,
poor guys.
This is spoilers.
Moving on to the fire. Oh yes,
so
spoilers for the most
season
recent
2.
episode of House of the Dragon.
So if you haven't watched it, go watch it. But it's vague enough that it's
I mean, it's pretty big
Yeah.
spoilers. It's spoilers.
spoilers, but
Anyways,
you
okay.
don't see what's
Move
happening
on.
really. All right,
Sweet.
so
Oh,
the
thank
2
you.
most recent episodes, there's a sequence where you're in a dark cave, and the exact same
Are
place.
these weird screenshots or are these straight up screenshots?
These are
Like,
straight up
this is-
screenshots.
What the
This is how the color looks
Yeah.
like for both
Mhm,
for the different
mhm.
fire looks. I will say that these are different dragons breathing the fire, but it's just still so jarring of how different they look.
you have the first shot you have for both the shots, it's over the shoulder of, and it's like, I'm assuming that's the same character, yeah?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. From a baseline, like just color thing, we've got different contrast levels, like pretty differently, like from the get-go. So there are some differences that could maybe be justified. And maybe you could say, are they two different dragons or are they the same?
Two different dragons, yes.
I mean, still, I think the problem with both these fires is they're one note.
No,
like if you look at fire,
these are all the same dragon.
Are they all the same dragon?
This is all Vermithor. Because
oh wait, really?
Yeah,
I thought
remember
this was Sea Smoke.
That one's Sea Smoke because she tries and then it flies away.
Oh, are you talking about?
Yeah, this one's Sea Smoke.
Oh,
and this one's Vermithor.
I think.
Right. Sorry, I thought this was all from the last episode. Okay.
No. It's two different episodes, but it was in the same.
Okay,
same,
my bad.
Arena area.
And the overall color on the episodes aren't super different.
No.
This episode was kind of washed out.
It was? Oh.
Like,
I mean, we have different contrast levels as a baseline, like
on
just
the
like
beach
the back of
at the very beginning was very washed out too.
Okay, I have to look at it.
Anyways, I mean, fire sucks because fire goes from like white to like deep reds, just based on like how intense it is. And, like, there's no. Yeah,
but I'm just curious because
it's so it's either really desaturated and just made to be this like one note.
Calvin, I'll just mention that let me mention one thing is that these actors here and here, they're being lit by the same whatever flamethrower device that they built. There's a couple behind the scenes videos that I can even show to you a little bit later. So it should be the exact same rig that they're using.
I mean, this is just like this is a difference in DI. You know,
this
is just a color timing choice for whatever reason.
So I'm curious as to why they did that, though.
Do you think maybe an option or a reason why they did it like this is because the sheer size? First of all, like Sea Smoke is a lot smaller than the Vermithor was, and then with Vermithor blowing all that fire, there might be like a shit ton of more smoke.
I feel like I need to.
I'm thinking of.
My issue is there's a color difference. There's a color difference like in the shots as a baseline, and I think that can straight up account for the fire. Like I don't see, like this is just super desaturated, way more green, way more blue, a lot less red.
Like it looks like if you would just take the grade off of the right or the left image, they would be the same.
Yeah,
it looks like just the straight up the right one is missing.
Like just looking at like the color of the back of his head. I keep thinking it's Daenerys. The braids. I haven't seen the show, so not Daenerys's head, but like you get what I mean, right? So it's like I don't think these are that different. I would complain more about like the fire being this one note, solid orange.
Supposedly it's real, so at least from.
No, they just beat the shit out of it in DI. It's.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, like actually color corrected stuff to it, right?
Yeah, they do that with fire all the time.
It's probably just because like TV isn't. You'd have to check the directors maybe, but like a lot of TV episodes aren't all directed by the same, so it could just be the taste of the director. And the second one's like, no, we got to keep it what it is.
This looks like an overall color difference to me. I mean, unless the rep, like like I wish I had Nuke or something open because I feel like if you put an orange grade on the stuff on the right, it would just end up looking like the stuff on the left.
Yeah, we'll gamma down.
I think Alex does make the good point. Make a good point in regard to like they probably did that because they're different dragons, so they just want to differentiate.
Maybe,
the fires, like
it was a good show. Maybe it's a different colorist, or maybe it's a different director.
We'll have to see if we see them in the same episode blowing fire. If it's like
this looks like a color. Like I was expecting more of a difference in the fire. Like I mean, fire is what is it? Essentially, if it's oxygen, it's going to be orange or red, right? So I was expecting maybe it to be like one of those things where burning hydrazine or whatever makes it like green or some shit. I don't know. Right. But this, I don't know. I think this is a great.
It is different.
But it's still, this is a really weird, great issue to have. You know what I mean? Like this is like why. Why change this color to such a degree? These are back-to-back episodes,
back-to-back,
in the same environment,
but different directors.
It is like the same cave,
same environment. Yeah.
Oh, is it different directors?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there you go.
It could be that. Yeah.
But, I would be whatever.
No. Yeah, that's our shots
But yeah,
for the week.
House of the Dragon. It's out now.
Great show, yeah.
On the
Or is
last
it
week,
almost
right?
done? How close is it to done?
One more episode. It's
Of this
Ooh,
season.
okay.
First season.
Well, this season, yeah.
Oh, is there another season?
I think there's
think
going to probably
2
be
more?
a total of like 4 or 5.
Right. Oh, I
Yeah.
thought there was only 3. Never mind. Okay, well, I'll watch it in like 8
It'll be
years.
done by 2030.
Yeah,
Is it every year or every 2 years?
2 years.
2 years.
So yeah, good luck
Unfortunately.
with
But, I mean, that could have
waiting
been-
for that, Calvin.
Delayed for the writer's strike too and stuff.
Oh, that
That's
probably
true.
was the strike. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah.
Actually, it's a British run show, so would they be affected by this?
Is it?
I believe
The fuck?
it is in it.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, they were.
Oh fuck. Okay. Well,
Because, I mean, a lot of the actors, you know, they're in both guilds, I think.
Don't know.
sucks to be them.
What else is going
Sag
on?
ofta.
What's new with you, Alex? What have you been up to since you've been on last?
Yeah.
What have I been up to? I have been playing Elden Ring.
Oh yeah.
I have
Nice.
Very
been
good.
conceptualizing my own pixel art game,
Ooh.
That's cool.
which is pretty fun. Yeah, that one I was I kind of just had an idea while I was out camping.
Mhm.
I don't even know what sort of brought it upon me, but when I was out there, I was thinking about it'd be really cool to have like a small, short top. What are you drawing? What are you drawing on Carby's face?
Time codes.
No.
Oh, Calvin.
I just look over in the corner of my eye. I could just see the swirly thing.
Bonjour, monsieur.
I am Frenchman making
We're
American. with my baby blue eyes. Sorry, continue, Alex.
For anybody
that
just
was-
listening, Calvin's drawing on Jeremy Allen White's face.
Which
audience can no longer see.
Little goatee.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So
The Pixar art game.
Yeah, the pixel art game. I wanted to create this like small sort of story-driven game, based in like the 90s, 80s time, where it's like, you know, you still had to run to a payphone if you needed to make a phone call that was urgent.
Yeah.
And the game itself is like it's a small town, and you play as this investigator that's been hired by the local police department because there's been a string of very gruesome murders that nobody can put together why, because there's never been a murder weapon. It's just been like ripped apart kind of a thing, and you're tasked with trying to solve it, right? And so amongst arriving, you basically get the lead person that's been on the case to help you the whole time while you're doing it. And then among like discovering clues and everything, you find out things that I don't really want to say yet, because if I make it fully, it would be like the whole game would probably only take you like, I'm thinking like 2 hours to beat. Like it wouldn't be like a very long game, but it just like, I think it'd be really cool, little fun one. And it's like this sort of like Stranger Things, like sort of looking, but pixel arty kind of vibe, which is pretty sweet. And
have you?
yeah.
no.
Calvin, what the fuck? Alex, have you? Because the '80s, '90s aesthetic, if you're going similar to
Say that fucking
is it
top
Stranger
down
Things?
beat 'em up
Have you
game.
have you looked into Simon Stahlenhag's artwork?
No, we're not talking
I
about this
don't
guy every fucking week. We talked about him last week. We
I
talked
talked about
about him
it
on
last
old podcasts.
Shut up.
We're not talking about him
I would.
again.
I just because if you're doing like a cool detective slash whatchamacallit, murder mystery, I feel like there's key
I
art
feel like that
some
would
inspiration
only
from.
be valid if you're gonna do Eastern European. I feel like all his stuff is set in like Baltic, Eastern European grain.
stuff
I
kind
swear.
of looks like retro sci-fi, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not
he's
opposed
OG.
to it. I'm not opposed to it at all. I mean, like
There's some shots of just like the cop car that's like, and then the person's walking into it, like towards the house kind of thing. But if that's not the aesthetic you're going for,
Yeah,
by all
less
means.
of the
I mean, I
sci-fi
do-
ones, more just the vibes you're talking about, Colton. Of something.
yeah, I do like the way this looks though. It's pretty cool.
His stuff
Just
is
get
Um,
some creative juices flowing.
Yeah.
We talked about
I
him
think-
for 20 minutes last week. I swear to God.
You
think I
talked to-
have-
I swear to God, if we let you talk about Factorio for 20 minutes, you'll
I
just
said
go
we're
and
nice.
you'll ramble on like a fucking madman. But anyways, let's Alex continue.
I think I have just like a quick pixel art shot of like
Yeah,
a
let's see it.
concept of what I want the main character to look like if he was like blown up. Like the game is gonna be 16 by 16 pixel
Okay.
art, so it's gonna be very low,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
not too much detail. But like if you were to blow up the character, I'll show you what I kind of wanted him to look like. I'll just send it into the general, or do you want me to throw it on the mailing
You
note?
can just drop it on the middle note.
Okay, here. Where are we?
Oh, nice. But you did this?
I did a little bit of it. Most of it was generated
Okay,
just
still.
based on words.
It looks,
but
yeah, looks sick.
but
It's like a
yeah,
It's very like noir,
Very
detective
noir. Yeah.
PI.
yeah, and what else do I have here? This is kind of what I had for the actual playable character,
Oh, fun.
Hell yeah.
and then
Oh, this is very
Cade
like,
actually gave me this. Cade gave me this idea. It's for a little smoking animation.
Oh yeah, it's idle animation to pull out a little cigarette.
Oh,
So
that's
you're going like more Miami Vice kind of, or no, more noir.
Yeah, more noir, like very. It's gonna be very grim, very dark, everything you find is gonna be very bloody. Like what's like very bloody mess. Like you're gonna like walk into rooms. It's gonna be like lights are off, everything's broken. And you're gonna be shining a flashlight, and there's just gonna be like bloody pixels everywhere. I guess you could say.
Cool.
But yeah, it's gonna. I think it'd be cool. I kind of like the idea of the plot twists that I have in mind, and Olivia's been helping me with them too, kind of like fleshing out some sort of like things that may be confusing and everything. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, I've been kind of working on just making the art for it right now, just
What's,
when I have time. But
What's kind of the game, like what are similar games that have the gameplay that you're going to want to mimic? Is it kind of similar to, what's the one that's by Toby Fox? What did he make? Is it Undertale where you're interacting with the environment and then text will pop up? Or is it?
yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be more like that. Yeah.
Nice. And what games do you think influenced you?
For the art style or
Not necessarily
for
the art, just over the
art
years.
style,
like,
just
inspired
everything?
screams
you.
like
Oh, definitely.
Pokemon.
Yeah, it's definitely Pokemon inspired.
Say old
Mostly
Pokemon,
that's where I
Final
got like
Fantasies. Yeah.
the gameplay for it, like Stardew Valley, kind of
Nice.
Mhm.
the way you can kind of walk around everything like that and interact with the environment, interact with all the different townsfolk. It's gonna be pretty big in there too, because you're gonna have to like interview people. and
Is it, yeah,
stuff,
it's
so-
like a lot
man.
of dialogue based stuff of like
yeah, a lot
asking-
of dialogue based. It's very like story based. It's like I wouldn't say there's gonna be too much for like combat mechanics or anything like heavy like that, because that's not what I'm kind of going for with it. I kind of want to just go for like a story. Like
So you're
you're
making
playing a detective and like you'll have a gun, but like you're not gonna
90s
be like
pixel art
walking around.
LA noir.
kind of like that. Yeah, a little bit like that.
That sounds cool.
Okay, I also really liked some of the Alan Wake sort of vibes made its
Oh,
way
yeah.
into that a
Very
bit
spooky.
too. But instead of like a writer, he's a detective kind of a thing, right? So,
Right.
but yeah, a bunch of different art styles. I just also like watching like YouTube videos on pixel art too. I've kind of picked up on a couple different art styles that I liked. This one I watched, he kind of like broke down a bunch of different very popular pixel art games, and one of them I can't remember what it was called, but it was like so detailed and it was all top down, and I really liked the way that looked. But then again, it was like I think it was like 32 by 32.
Yeah,
It was a
I've
lot more
always-
detailed.
it's crazy how
There
much
was like
more.
a wave a few years ago where pixel art started to be really pretty, and they started to use 3D systems to build it all because it was
Mhm.
like, why not?
Yeah.
What was
I'm
that
talking
game?
about like Octopath Traveler.
Octopath
like
Traveler is a good example. But what was that other game that we saw like a demo for?
Oh,
And I was thinking,
Oh,
The
the
Last
last
Night.
night.
the last night. Yeah, that
Or
was
replaced,
a really good one.
which is the other one.
And I feel like some other ones where they started to do a lot of particle systems and stuff, like especially for fire and some other things. Where like hand animated's cool, don't get me wrong, but it's like the amount of extra detail and movement you can get from from some 3D stuff that gets converted.
Well, the last night here, it almost looks like an anime. Like it's very close to like looking like an anime.
I'm trying to remember.
I like it.
Was it the last night? Oh yeah, it was. Yeah. I mean, like a lot of this, I'm pretty sure this is all 3D, right?
Yeah,
like
probably.
Oh, it definitely is. It looks like it.
Yeah.
But there's like so many things that stand out so much too in each of these shots.
To be fair, but I mean, like kind of like finding that coolness between voxels and pixels is kind of. I feel like there was a bit of a wave of that.
I'm in their Discord. They're still working on it, so hopefully it'll come out eventually.
Yeah, no, I think it was at one of the big game expos.
That's 2017. It's been a while.
Jesus Christ, that's been a long time. Okay,
I think there might have been something with the dev too that was
not
good.
Anyway, I vaguely remember that. Uh-oh. Yeah. Oops. Anyways.
Actually here, if I share my screen, will it be on will it be on the
if you have a YouTube link, just maybe drop it in the middle of note or send it, then I could share it.
It's not a YouTube link. It's just my PureRef file. I'll just screenshot it and throw it in.
Cool. Yeah, that's better.
There you go. So like this is kind of more stuff to sort of further what I was saying. You can kind of see how he like breaks down into like lower
LA Noir. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah.
This is literally one of the sprites from Pokemon. This little.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's actually this exact character is kind of what I used as a guide for the one above there. It's all brown. But there's that, and then like there's gonna be like another character that's gonna be a girl that helps you out, and she's kind of got a similar look too. I'll post that one here too.
This reminds me of the famous Edward Hopper painting. Here, this is the one when they're in the coffee. It's the coffee shop.
I want to say
the coffee shop with like Marilyn in it, and
like on the corner of the street.
Yep.
Yeah.
Show you, Alex. Will be good reference.
Yeah, I definitely need more reference.
There you go.
Yeah, I love that painting.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah,
that's.
Hold on.
This is an edited one, Colton.
This is
You know those people aren't in the original painting.
God fucking damn.
I was like, what the?
Oh yeah, there's actually quite a bit that are different. Sorry, my bad.
There's a lot of edits of it. Yeah.
That's Elvis.
Well, you know what? Elvis decided to just hop in.
That's Elvis, Johnny Cash, and
that one.
Is that Marilyn Monroe?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And the Johnny Cash on the left. I don't know who the fuck.
Oh god, there's so many edited versions.
That's
Sorry,
that.
hold on. That is my bad.
That famous actor in the old days. Not old days, but.
What's the artist's name?
Edward Hopper, and the piece is called Nighthawks. What a fucking sick name, Nighthawks.
Nighthawks,
I think.
I'll just get rid of that.
For some reason, the first time I ever saw this, there was two badgers in the photo, and I thought that was the original one for many years. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, so that's the original there.
That's your original.
Yeah, that's the original.
Okay,
not the
I
one
still
with
like
Elvis.
I still really like it though.
This has been emulated. I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
But definitely the same sort of vibes that I'm going for. 100%. That
like
I'm actually gonna grab that. I just need to get I need to get better at my art for this, because this is all like pixel art's all new for me.
That's all good.
But it doesn't seem like it's hard. Like it seems pretty easy to pick up. Like it didn't seem like it was too difficult.
8 months from now.
Yeah.
I'm redoing my entire look development.
Yeah.
I think
everything that I've got.
Yeah. Pixel art, from what I've done of it, it seems like it seems easier because it's like, less, it's 16 pixels, so you can kind of get away with a lot. But then I think the hard part is making it look unique,
making it look
and like special, or like not just like bare bones.
You can't just like run something through a format and it works.
Another good example, Alex, is, I'm sure you're aware of Jesus Christ, what's it called? Who's the the pixel art game where you mine and you make a farm? Stardew Valley.
Dear
Stardew
God.
Thank
Oh,
you.
okay.
Yeah, I
got it.
I was
mentioned
like,
that.
you know how many games?
There's a lot. There's a lot. But like he completely redid his entire art direction at one point. Like if you look at his old videos,
Hmm.
Oh, I
And
watched
then-
one of his like little documentary things about how he was talking about when he made it, and he basically
Nice.
was like, "Yeah, halfway through, I just cached it or trashed everything, like
Yeah.
started over
it's like yeah,
basically."
looking at oldest to the newest.
Oh,
look of
Terraria
his
is a good
game.
example of good pixel art as well.
I've been
That's
actually
Terraria, of
playing
course, yeah.
a lot of Terraria
Yeah,
actually the last few days.
We've been playing Terraria a lot for the last few days.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, it's one of the best-selling games of all time. It's like number 8 or number 9.
Yeah, it's great.
we didn't even know because like we didn't know how to play it properly.
Oh,
so
yeah,
like
we had a rough first
oh.
night.
it was bad. We
Wait,
created
how far are
we
you?
created a graveyard biome in our spawn and
Nice.
everything, and
Yep.
just
Cool.
I literally looked up a beginner
Oh,
guide
yes.
for Terraria,
Yes.
and in the beginning of the game or the beginning of the video, he's like, "Does your Terraria world look like this?" And it's just exactly what we had. I was like, he's like, "This is
Terraria
we're
is
gonna
like-
show you how to turn it into this," and he was like battling the moon god or whatever, and I
Yeah.
was like, "I
What
didn't
the
even know you
fuck?
could do any of this."
No, Terraria is crazy because you think you beat the game, and then there's something called hard mode, where like
Mhm.
85% of the content is actually there. So like just getting to hard mode, which can take a long time, depending on like how much you do.
Especially
It's
if you're
just
new.
such like oh my god, yeah. There's so many bosses and so many biomes. How
No.
big of a world did you generate? Do you know?
We did a large, I think.
Oh no, you're gonna hate yourself for that. It's so
you did it.
fucking huge.
I think we did a classic and then large, but like
Yeah,
large wasn't the biggest
I
one we
always
could
did
do.
large. Oh, was there a bigger one now?
There's a
Okay,
bigger
okay,
one than
You're probably
large.
okay.
Yeah.
I remember large being just like I remember I played on large because I was like I want the bigger map just in case I build like something really big, which I never ever did. And then like the one time I did medium, I was like, oh, this is so much better because there's reasons to go to the end of the map on like
Mhm.
both directions, like a lot. It's just such a fucking. But yeah, that game's awesome. That was like the first game I played where it was like you need to have a wiki open constantly to know what the fuck you're doing.
Mhm.
Or like even like what do I do next? I mean, you could run into stuff, but yeah, that game's excellent. I love it.
I
Yeah.
I really like it. Like I didn't even realize too. Like if you have too many villagers in one area, you start getting like negative percentage taken off of your like your bartering. So basically, like something will cost like 120% more expensive.
Oh,
something
if you
like
don't
that.
build,
If
like
you
the-
have-
oh, that's interesting. I
Yeah,
didn't
if you
know
don't
that.
keep them like at optimum happiness, and if you have more than 3 in one area, like in one village, like they'll start to get unhappy even if they really like the neighbor. And
Oh,
then because
weird.
of that, it'll like compound so that like all the different shops
So
will be
people
like,
just can't
yeah.
build towers anymore. Towers.
No,
of all
they-
the
they, like,
NPCs?
yeah, they have to be. It's like literally the video he was like explaining. It's got to be a certain amount of blocks away from the other person.
From the other.
So it's like me and
NPCs.
you, Calvin. I have to be a certain amount of blocks away.
Yeah, you
Or
fucking
provinces away.
Stay away.
On my screen, you guys are 1 block apart.
Yeah.
Bitch.